When Axel Rudakubana went berserk with a knife at a children's dance workshop in Southport, many police officers raced to the scene.
It's all kicking off here, mate. There's members of the public directing me into a building. There's another... Just bear with me. Stand by. Stay.
These are the officers who got there first.
There was maybe 25 adults, and all of them were looking at me, and all of them had this look of terror and fear, panic on their faces, and I knew whatever it was we were turning up to, which we didn't exactly know, but whatever it was really, really bad.
Ambulances with a child on the floor not breathing. There's a male in the building which is called Tackle Tat, who's not breathing. Going in to try and detain him.
Watch out, don't go.
You can't afford to be fearful or panic like the people that you were confronted with. How did you deal with that?
You know, what else was I supposed to do in that situation? I couldn't look myself in the mirror if I'd have turned the other way and not done anything. It was just a case of doing the right thing for the people that needed help there.
Luke, what was the scene that confronted you when you arrived with Tim?
I jumped out the police car, was confronted with a crowd of people pointing me in there, he's in there, and then as I started to run up the building, I could see blood all over the floor.
I ran in for the safety of my fellow officers, just to make sure that they were okay. It was just going off pure adrenaline, really.
Sergeant Greg Gillespie, Constable Luke Holden, and Police Community Support Officer Tim Parry.
Last night, the officers won top prize at the National Police Bravery Awards. They were honoured for their courage.
As I got to the door, that was partially smashed. Greg was stood there, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, large puddle of blood on the floor outside the door. And he just looked at me for 1 second and said, "Are you ready?" And that was it. There was no conversation. There was nothing else going on. He said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah, let's go." I identified the suspect at the top of the stairs. Bloodied knife in his hand. So I thought, this is going to go two ways. He's going to listen to us, or he's going to fight with us and try and stab us. So again, me and Greg formed a solid wall with our shoulders walking up the stairs, so he couldn't get past us.
How far away was he from you?
Within 2 meters.
Striking distance?
He was within striking distance. And I was thinking, at any point, if he does anything to threaten me or any sort of movements I didn't like, he would have been tased immediately, but he was to an extent compliant. His hands were above his head, he dropped the knife, he was listening to tactile communications. We pursued him up the stairs, he was stepping back. I could then see a young girl on the floor with fatal wounds, and I could see a doorway ajar with, again, another young set of legs, bloody legs behind it, so I knew there was another person seriously injured in that room. So we're shouting at the suspect to drop the knife, put his hands up. He does so, and then within a second, Greg goes behind me to not get in the way of the taser, strikes him, and then between us, we strike him, kick him, get him down, handcuff him. At which point, Tim appears running up the stairs to assist us with that. I
saw him, made eye contact with him, saw his facial expression, saw his body language, and I saw the way he'd moved himself into a position at the top of the stairs so that we could see him. And I saw the way he was holding his knife in a position almost as if he was showing us he had a knife. My opinion of that is he was fronting us, for want of a better word. What are you going to do? I've got a knife, what are you going to do? And I think the second he realised that he was looking at two people who weren't scared of him, who were going to come in and confront him and attack him, all that bravery and bravado that he must have summoned up to attack innocent, defenceless children, he lost that straight away and he threw the knife down.
Axel Rudakubana was arrested by the officers and handed over to colleagues. He had already fatally injured 7-year-old Elsie Stankham, Alice da Silva Aguirre, aged 9, and BB King, who was 6, and he'd tried to kill 10 others. What are your thoughts on the timing, your arrival, and what it might have saved?
I think it was already too late to save 2 of the victims that were in the building. But there was an adult, one of the dance teachers, who was shielding another child in a toilet. And that toilet was within arm's distance, as close as we are now. away from him. And I don't think he realised they were there. And had he realised they were there, I'm sure he would have tried to attack them.
The public's feeling towards the police service for lots of reasons is quite low at the moment. So I wonder, it's important, isn't it, to celebrate in that sense good policing?
99.9% of police officers are fair, will make the right decisions, will work tirelessly to fix problems. And I think that side of policing doesn't really get highlighted.
I feel proud about being nominated for it. Like they say, it's bittersweet coming back on such a horrific incident. It's nice to sort of have that recognition from like peers and colleagues and supervision. But yeah, it's not a day of like celebration really.
Rudakubana was jailed for life. The judge said that if he hadn't been stopped, he would have gone on to kill all 26 children at the dance class. Martin Brunt, Sky News, Merseyside.